Hello everyone, this is First Call with Ron, a video log to help you stretch yourself and create the relationships you deserve, starting with you. Before I get started, I hope everyone had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. My Labor Day weekend was pretty much hanging out with the girls and having a good time. Now back to the first call. Hopefully this video log will help you and give you resources and tools. More importantly, help you stretch yourself to become more of what you want to be and more of what you want to become. So let's get started. One of the things that I want to bring up is that everything that I teach is something that I practice myself. I'm not one of these guys that follows somebody else's techniques. I'm not one of these guys that tries to think that my method is the best method. This is the stuff that I've learned, and I definitely practice what I preach. So let's get started. But before we get started, I like to start it off by telling a story. And the story is probably going to be the sum of everything that we're going to discuss about today. The story I want to talk about is Acres of Diamonds. And if no one has heard this story about Acres of Diamonds, I highly recommend you to Google it. It's a very great story. And this is how the way it relates to me in some sort of sense. And so Acres of Diamonds starts out with a farmer, very wealthy farmer in Africa, had his own land, and he tilled his own land, worked his own land. He was very wealthy. Anyway, one day one of his friends came by, and over a nice conversation, over some dinner and some wine, he asked him a question about, have you heard about the diamonds that people are starting to discover? And the farmer was like, no, I've never heard about it. Can you tell me more? So his friend proceeded to tell him everything about the diamonds. Told him about talking about the diamonds was a congealed drop of sunlight. And if you find just one or two of these things, they make you very, very wealthy. That night, the farmer went to bed, a very poor man. He wanted some of those diamonds. I mean, who wouldn't want them? So the next day he wakes up, he's very excited. He goes into his guest room where his friend's sleeping. He wakes him up. He says, hey, tell me where I can find these diamonds. And he says, sure, you can find these diamonds anywhere. You just got to find out a good place where they're having them or where they're mining them at, and just go for it and look for them for there. So the guy, he takes off. He starts on his mission to find the diamonds. He sells his home, his farm. He leaves his family in the care of a great relative, and he went out in search for the diamonds. He searched for many years, going from place to place, and came up empty-handed. Finally, destitute and broke, he took his own life by throwing himself over a bridge into a river and drowned. In the meantime, his friend comes back to visit him a few years later and finds the new farmer at his place. Knocks on the door. The new farmer says, hey, how you doing? He says, yeah, I was just wondering if my friend came back. He said, no, he sold his farm. And as the guy was looking, he looked on the mantle in the living room, and he seen a large stone. And his friend says, oh my God, that's one of the largest diamonds I've ever seen. And the farmer says, no, that's not a diamond. He said, that's just a rock I found near one of the ponds and stuff. And so he was like, nope. He said, that's a diamond. I said, I've seen it. I've seen them before, and I know how they look in their primitive state as well as their natural state, and that is a diamond. And so he said, come on, let's go outside. So he went outside, and the farmer showed his friend where the diamond was found. And the diamond, lo and behold, when they went down to the brook and they stirred the water just a little bit, they found another one, and another one, even more larger than the next one. Come to find out, the farmer that owned that land was sitting on the largest diamond mine in Africa. It's one of the greatest diamonds that's ever been found in the world has been found in this diamond mine. Now, if you take a look at the context of this story and how it pertains to everything that we're talking about as far as the stretch yourself is concerned, had the first farmer, taken the time to do his research, find out what diamonds actually look like. More importantly, find him a mentor, somebody who knows the ground, knows the territory, knows the way they look in their primitive state as well as their positive state, he may have had a better chance of finding diamonds. Now, how many times have we done that? How many times have we had ideals, passions, and dreams that we've had that we just took off without a moment's notice, without looking for any guidance or any direction, and then just going from place to place, looking for those diamonds, as they say, but never putting enough focus and enough energy into anything to bring it into fruition. That's what the cause of this first call is about. That's what it's about. It's about us stretching and finding what we have. The potential that we have is already within us. We only got to bring it out to light, and hopefully I'll be able to help you do that. I want to thank you guys all for taking time out to listen to my series. Look forward to my next series. It's called About Passion and Intention. And I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, how do I have all these things within? You do have those things within. You just haven't looked inside yourself until now. And hopefully I can open that page to see it from a different view, so you can see it and see how the way you can positively impact yourself with focus and intention and finding your passion. I want to thank you all for taking time out to listen to my first call. And I want to end this with a couple of stats that I hope you'll know, that bring things to light. I know a lot of people complain and they say, hey, look, if I had the money they had, then maybe I can get started. Or if I had the resources that person had, maybe I can get started. I could do the same thing too. But I don't know if you know this or not, but 80% of the millionaires, first-time millionaires, 80% of them are first-time millionaires. Let me rephrase it. First time, the category, they did a poll on how many first-time millionaires, and out of a poll of over 100 or so, 80% of them were first-time millionaires. 75% of that same category, they're deca-millionaires, meaning they reached the 10 million mark, meaning they're worth 10 million or more. Now, these people were regular, ordinary people just like you and I, that worked every day, had jobs, but the one thing that they had that most of us lose sight on, number one, they've had that passion, but they had that focus. They was intent on no matter what they did, they wanted to get that accomplished. And if you look back on the things that you love to do, when you're intent and you're focused like that, nothing else matters, and it shouldn't matter. So I want to thank you guys. Hopefully I gave that some thought. Stay tuned for the next vlog series, which will be passion and purpose. And I know you're thinking, how am I going to be able to find my passion? Hopefully I'll give you some tools and insights to help you do that. Thank you, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.